Sam, I would like to talk about a
Yes.
movie that I watched very recently, last night. Went to the cinema, sat down with my popcorn. Didn't have popcorn. I had a bag of nuts. And some
Healthy.
Yeah, I had a bag of peanuts, and then for some reason thought it'd be good to have chocolate M&M peanuts as well as my dessert. So it was a peanut frenzy.
Feeling really nutty.
I want to talk
peanut
about Guardians.
frenzy?
Yeah, I want to talk about Guardians of the Galaxy 3.
Oh my goodness, yes. I also went to see it this week. It came out in Japan a little bit earlier
Yes.
because of Golden Week. I think it came out on the Wednesday. Yeah, weird, right? Like, the Mario movie doesn't come out until a month later. Spider-Man, I'm swinging around 3 months avoiding spoilers. But for some reason, Marvel films tend to drop a couple of days early here in Japan, which is
Sweet.
quite pleasant. Where did we leave off last time with the Guardians, Will? Let's just kind of figure out where this film is starting. Did you see the holiday Christmas special?
No, I didn't actually. I've been off Marvel for quite a while, to be honest.
So have I.
So Guardians
Fatigue.
Guardians 2 was Igor, the planet daddy planet.
Ego the Living Planet.
Ego,
Yeah.
not Igor. Ego, obviously. And guess what? He has a bit of a big.
He's planet-sized, dude. That's an accurate statement.
Fair. Anyway, so we had that whole plot line with Peter finding his dad, and now we are. Oh, and also like Endgame is still a thing because Gamora died. Yeah, now she's back.
Yep, so she's back, but it's not the original Gamora. It is a past version of Gamora who doesn't have any of the memories that led up to the first Guardians movie, and she is now out here in the world.
Okay, so no spoilers. No spoilers apart from that one that we just spoiled. First impressions? Like how did you feel coming out of it?
Straight out of it. Mixed.
Wow.
Is how I felt coming out of it.
Okay, that's not what I thought you were going to say, because your exact message to me was just saw Guardians Volume 3.
You know, you really shouldn't talk that way to your captain, Quill.
Yep. And I'll tell you why I punctuated my opinion with a single simple word, was because while I say I came out feeling mixed about it, I don't feel like it's in such that I'm like in the middle of the road with it. I loved this movie. I thought it was absolutely brilliant.
Right.
But when I say mixed, there were so many emotions running through the film.
Fair.
And I had real peaks and troughs of like, this is hilarious. This is some really incredible action. Oh my God, this is the saddest thing I've ever had to lay my eyes on.
Right.
This movie made me cry a lot.
Okay,
and
fair.
also laugh a lot and have my jaw on the floor. How about you?
I think this is an emotional roller coaster. I absolutely agree that like it was ups and downs, and in the moment in the film, I thought, yeah, this is really good. I really I love this sort of backstory and things. Right, should we get into spoilers, because I feel like I can't. It's hard to talk about it. I made you talk about it without spoiling anything. I can't do it, so we're just going to go straight into spoilers.
All right.
So the whole Rocket's backstory and all of that was really, I think it was really nice and necessary. It's like I didn't know that I wanted that, but now it's sort of like it's been that question.
Getting to see it play out,
because they've sort of referenced it a lot, haven't they? Like he always brings up like he's always got these like very cynical views of things, and there's clearly a story there. Yeah, there's clearly stories there. So it was nice to get that conclusion of his sort of arc. So overall, I really enjoyed the journey, and like you say, there was lots of good action. There was lots of funny moments, and overall the plot was nice. Like it wasn't amazing, but I thought it was a good story to tell. There were a few things that I came out and thought that was an interesting choice, or I'm not sure if that works or if I like that.
If I'm to compare it to another movie that we both saw fairly recently, we think about John Wick Chapter 4.
Yeah.
One of my small complaints about that film is that it feels like there's one too many fetch quests that he has to go on. It's like, go to here, get the thing.
Yeah.
Go to here, get the thing.
Do you remember me saying, sorry, spoilers for John Wick. Do you remember me saying when we reviewed that before you'd seen it, there was a scene that just seemed really unnecessarily hemmed in, and it was the bit when, right at the end, when he has to get to the place. It's like, now I'm going to go on the street now, instead of like just going direct there. I don't know, like he seems to make he seems to make it harder for himself by just...
See, I thought it was a different scene. I thought it was going to be when he went to the Russians. He went to the Russian family to get their branding. I thought that was kind of... He was there, he was getting tortured, and then they told him to go kill a guy. And I liked the club scene, but I don't think we needed him to just stop off with the Russians at that point. I felt like that was a bit superfluous. Okay. But to kind of bring it back around, I felt like perfect amount of fetch quests in this. It's essentially, we need to go get the ID code because Rocket's got a kill switch on him because Rocket's been horribly injured due to his own interference in past movies. We get the introduction of...
Well, I think it's because of his own existence, really.
Yeah, well, he stole the batteries and that made the gold people so mad at the Guardians, and that's why they summoned Adam Warlock, that's his name, to come in and attack them and attack the Guardians in their home base. And
yeah, but his mission was to bring Rocket to his creator and nearly takes him out.
Yeah,
like, pretty much kills him.
Ends up... So I liked that about Adam Warlock in that he is
useless.
This almost Superman level of character and strength, but he's just got this naive, childish mind, and so he spends most of the film just walking around making things objectively worse wherever he goes.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought that them going to get the code and then having one setback on the weird flesh planet and then just going straight to the creator was good. I felt like it kept it all nice and snappy, kept it all going in a reasonable pace. And it didn't feel like we were getting bogged down in having to go and explore other planets or whatever. Like there was a clear focus, help Rocket, 2 days, let's go.
Yeah, it was. It was nice to have a movie that was very clear on the direction it was going in. There wasn't loads and loads of side quests. There wasn't like loads of split up of characters where they were all doing different things. It was very focused on that goal. And you're right, there was a bit of tangenting. Like they had to get, they were trying to get the code. They went and they found it. Oh no, wait, it's not. It's been removed. We have to go find it somewhere else. So there was a little bit of that. Yeah. But yeah, you're right. Some of the films, especially like thinking of Star Wars and things like that, so certain films recently feel like it's just, we're going to go get the thing, we've got the thing, now we need to get the other thing, now we need to do this, oh now we need to break through here, now this, and it's just like, okay, she's trying to cram a hell of a lot into this. Why can't we just have a goal and then we try and achieve it?
It doesn't feel like these newer films have like an actual arc for characters to go on. It just feels like a series of conveniences to get them from one set piece to another set piece. Whereas here, everything felt, like you said, very well written, very kind of on the way to accomplishing this goal. And the goal of just healing up Rocket is what powers basically the entire film.
Yeah. So what did you think to Rocket's backstory?
Very sad. I liked that he was this super genius and he was solving things that the high evolutionary couldn't figure out, and that was causing issues. Can I just say the performance from the high revolutionary, brilliant. Like he is that good. Perfect level of like menacing, and there's a moment where again, full spoilers if you've not seen Guardians yet, but sad things happen in Rocket's past and some of his friends die. And there's a moment where you just hear Rocket like wailing. Yeah. And then the high evolutionary is like, that's powerful enough as it is, because it is a guttural bit of voice acting. Yeah. But then the high evolutionary comes out with this mocking like version of it, because you can tell that he's on his last like iota of patience, and it's just like, oh wow, yeah, like
they do a really good job of portraying that perfect level of unhingedness, if that's a word. So like you genuinely, there's a little bit of trepidation in your stomach. You're not sure where he's going to go with it. It's almost a
Yeah.
bit like Joker, and that sort of vibe from Heath Ledger when you're not sure. He's thinking on just such another wavelength. It's like he's saying one thing. What is he actually going to do? What is he actually? And it's that psychotic nature of the character. Yeah, it was played really well. I'll give you that. I didn't think much of it at the time, but you're right. It is really well for really good villain, really good villainy.
Yeah. And not just, it's just the opposite guy in a different coloured suit, which has been the past, like, every Marvel film forever.
Yeah.
What did you think of the backstory? Like, meeting...
It was very emotional.
Teefs, Lila, and Floor.
Floor, yeah, great. I thought it was sweet, and, you know, it was sad. It was just so sad. I felt for Rocket so much, and... It's not only that his friends have died, it's that, like, kicking him when he's down, like telling him that they were never gonna amount to anything. They were never gonna go to the planet. He's basically just a tester. Yeah, it was painful, man.
It's brutal.
And there was lots of good emotion
sometimes
throughout. Like, even with what other stuff was there? There was a lot of animal stuff, like the dog. You've got the Cosmo, and then the little creepy thing that Goldman picks up. There's a lot of animal.
Oh yeah, the weird fluffy.
And I
guy.
don't know. Look, the point is that Rocket's backstory is in the comics, I'm assuming, and it's part of the narrative. So it's a good one to tell. But there's also that part of me that's like, God, you're getting me cheaply here with the animal stuff. Like, anyone with a soul is going to get pulled apart with just these backstories of animals. It's like, and Rocket,
being
like, even just the opening thing,
little
when you've got the
guys.
cute tiny little rockets, all the tiny little baby raccoons, and then it morphs
And they
into
pick him
Rocket's
up.
face, so that
That was so good.
that you can't help but associate Rocket with that tiny little cute cub, and it's like, and then he finds them at the end, and he takes them all on his body.
Yeah, and he's got them all on him.
Oh,
and he's
so
sitting around in
cute.
nowhere with two little guys. And I'm like,
Yeah.
it's so good. Yeah.
Okay.
And we get some nice other smaller moments as well.
Yeah, go
on. Like with Gamora and Peter, for like that whole film, him trying to re-find this woman that just doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah.
And I liked the idea of that playing out in that, okay, so sure, what if she tried to give it another chance? She is a very different person to the person that you met in Guardians 1, who had already experienced a lot of stuff and was now and changed because of you.
Yeah.
She's come through into a different universe. I like that they didn't resolve it romantically. They moved Peter on from it, and there's like hints of it towards the end where it's like, oh, I bet we were fun. But
I think
she goes back to the Ravengers, and we see, oh, this is her new family now.
Yeah.
This is who Gamora is now.
Yeah. But what I think was nice is what you just said. She changed because of Peter. So she hasn't become the Peter. She hasn't become the Gamora that Peter fell in love with yet, because Peter hasn't had that influence on her. And that sounds a bit almost like, you know, it's all because of him. But they influence each other, and they have that. But I think he is very sort of egotistical, and I think he does have more of a change on her than she does on him, just narratively speaking. So I think her journey on this film, you do see those changes in her character from beginning to end, and I think it's nice to it's almost just that symmetry, isn't it? Like, she's always going to be affected by Peter because he's an infectious character, and because he brings this side out of her, and because he has these views that she's never really been exposed to, that she's going to be changed by that, and therefore there is that, like, potentially down the line there will be that they'll balance out, and
their paths are going to cross again.
Yeah,
like, we can imagine that this is a set of characters now who the animosity from there has left Gamora by the end of the film.
But I think a cheaper film and a different director or a different storyteller would have had them together by the end. Like, oh yeah, I'll join your crew.
Absolutely.
And it would have felt forced because she's so passionate and dominant and sort of sure of herself. Like, this is not me. I am, and I think that's great.
Yeah.
You know, give her that autonomy.
And Peter as well, like, because the grief of losing her has affected him too, you can't help but think, like, even if they did start to pull things back together romantically, there's way too much baggage there, again, of a person that
Yeah.
no longer exists, who has
Yeah.
died, and he has...
Exactly, yeah, that's a good point.
And he's not even really had the chance to mourn that
No,
loss, and I think this
and
is what the film ends with, and that's why he goes back home.
Yeah.
I think he even says, I never had a chance to heal from being taken from my home when I was 8 and then having Gamora leave.
He's been running
And so for him
from
to
his
get
mother's
that-
death since.
Forever, for 30 plus years, and I think for him to finally just go home and just live this, for a time, just mundane, quiet Earth life with the only real family he's got left is a really powerful message at the end of the day.
Yeah, I think I do think they sort of breezed past the alcoholism a little bit too much. It was
At the start, yeah.
right at the start,
He
he's
just
wasted.
kind of woke up and he was sober.
Yeah, he's wasted, but like the others are referencing the fact that this is happening a lot, like he's drinking a lot, and the fact that he blame. There's one line where he references the fact
He
that
blames himself.
blames
It's like,
himself
if
for
I wasn't
Rocket.
drunk,
Yeah.
then maybe I could have. Yeah.
And then like that's not mentioned for the rest of the film. He doesn't deal with that at all. There's no like relapses. It's just sort of like, right, we're on this mission now, and I'm now focused, and I'm Peter Quill, and I'm going to be Peter Quill. I don't think like it's not like, you know, a beaten and battered Logan from Logan. It's not like you don't really. I don't really feel like they. And it's a Guardians film, so maybe you don't need that. But it seemed a bit weird to focus on that at the beginning and then never sort of bring it back to that.
just kind of
until-
brush it aside.
Right.
And I get it, because they are on a timer. They have only got like 48 hours to go, and things are moving very quickly, and they're always kind of...
But do we think? Okay, so my next criticism is then, and it might not be a criticism because it's just a thought. The destruction of the entire planet
Yeah, just full-on genocide
But
of
it
an
just-
entire planet.
goes by very quickly.
And that's...
I don't really feel like
Nobody really...
yeah. They sort of say, "I can't believe
There's
you
no
did that."
attempt...
Oh God, what a
What a
so-and-so.
naughty man
Yeah.
you are for destroying an entire planet.
And I think
Yeah.
different. You don't always need it to be this big moment, but
That scale, yeah.
but it's a huge scale, and you just sort of like swept it to the side. Like,
yeah,
it
that's what
reminds
I
me
did.
of, like-
I did kind of appreciate
Go
the
on.
scaling back of the final conflict to it just kind of being, okay, now get everybody off the ship.
Mm.
Like, there was no bombastic... I mean, I guess because we'd already kind of gotten that out of the way. This entire world has just died, and now it's... Okay, so it's now guys with guns and a tree and Emotion Lady fighting their way through just augmented dudes.
Mm.
But I will also criticize the fact that we get yet another Marvel movie where the final set of opponents, instead of it just being like an emotional confrontation, it's just, here's a swarm of CGI beasts tearing through a place.
And I didn't
I'm
really
like,
get
well,
the resolution of Rocket as well. Like, I wanted him to have a better standoff with
with the High
the
Evolutionary.
High Evolutionary.
Yeah.
I feel like it ended very quickly with them all chipping in, and I get that. Like, it promotes that teamwork. I just think it missed the mark just ever so slightly. I think what they were going for was this, like, Rocket needs his team. He's found his family, and it's that sort of them coming together that helps him. But I just don't.
Yeah.
I think, like, potentially we needed more of the High Evolutionary dominating Rocket to start with, and Rocket almost feeling like he's losing hope, and then Peter and the guys coming in and saving him, and it's like, yeah, I've got my family.
Yeah.
And just
Gotcha.
owning it.
That was a very cool team up, like, fight scene at the
It
end.
was.
Though.
It was.
And they're all just like pinging around.
And the corridor scene.
Bro,
great.
I was going to say,
It's good fun.
that was utterly insane. Like,
Yeah.
on a technical level alone, just seeing
So much going
the
on that I
camera
missed as well.
swirling
I wanna watch it again.
around. And I didn't feel like I was confused about what was happening, even though we're cycling through about 6 different protagonists, a bunch of different weird bionic designs, and different powers popping off at the same time. I never felt lost within the scene.
No.
And then for it to just end and they're like, whew. All right, let's keep going.
Yeah, and
Just
then
like,
and then they don't just automatically go into the classic cliche of the doors open and there's 500 more. Like, I was so dreading them just opening it up, and it's like, now we've got to fight all these.
Here we
And-
go again.
Yeah, and I'm like, I haven't got time for this. No, they didn't do it. They didn't fall for that, so that's good.
James Gunn, who wrote and directed this, has come out as saying that that corridor scene is one of his favourites as a filmmaker.
Oh wow,
After
okay,
all the
cool.
editing and stuff had come back together.
Yeah,
And he's been really, like, kind of heart on his sleeve about this film and how this film is like a metaphor for his own growth and his own tales of loss and his way that he's recovered and kind of come back into things. And he's told that story through Rocket, and I think you can feel that. And even though, yes, the animal angle can sometimes feel a bit cheap because it's like, cute animals are in pain, my emotions. I think there is a sense of heart here
yeah.
that I don't think very many other filmmakers are able to capture.
No, and
Which is why I'm really excited. Yeah.
I was going to say, I think Guardians do that generally. I think Guardian movies, they're always sort of
It's all
like,
him. It's all James Gunn.
but they've always sort of been portrayed as these fun sort of gun-ho experiences, but each one has this really heartfelt storyline, whether it's like the lost dad that turns out not to be what you expect. What was the original storyline? Just him getting
Finding
the
your
gang
family.
together, finding
Like-
family, yeah. So they have... Obviously, Vin Diesel has to be in a film about family because family is the most important thing.
The most important thing. Do you know what Fast and Furious 10 is called in Japan?
No, family. Fast family.
Fire Boost.
A fire beast. Should be Fast Family. I think that's what they should go for the next one.
Faster Family.
Fire
Booster.
So yeah, Guardians films generally really, I think they do always have those nice heartfelt moments, and yeah, if that's you say, yeah,
James Gunn.
James Gunn. I was going to say James
Pretty
Gunn,
much
wasn't
on him, and that's why it's going to be so exciting, because he's now the guy who's been put in charge of the DC universe, and the first thing that he's doing for DC is he's writing and directing a Superman movie. And it's going to be, fingers crossed, DC's not had a good track record.
They're
But
showing
if
trailers.
anyone's going to change it,
They were showing one of the trailers was for the Flash film.
Flash.
Yeah.
That
Interesting
CG looks a
choice.
bit rubbery, didn't it?
Yeah, interesting way to go with that. I feel like there's going to be a lot of things that someone who's not in the universe is going to struggle to understand. There's a lot of like crossovers that I'm like, I don't know who you are or what you're doing here, but sure, why not?
But okay.
Anyway, Guardians.
Yeah.
Any final comments? There was something that I wanted to say. Can we get over the end of film dance parties?
Oh, when everyone comes together. But that's quite nice because this is another character. Like I will tie this into your end of film dance parties because it's Karen Gillan's Nebula,
Yeah.
and it's the first time that she's finally. Because if anybody else gets a really solid arc here, it is Nebula
Okay.
as being a fully fledged Guardian, and she finally starts like allowing herself to be happy and being part of the family and getting involved with everybody. And I really like the final dance because it shows that she's moving past being one of Thanos' daughters. She's gotten past that. She's healing, and it's the Guardians and Rocket and everybody who've helped her. And for her to then finally put down her weapons and set up as like the head of the town it's just good character writing. I'm just like, yes. I don't care if you're dancing to Florence and the Machine. That's such a good song choice too.
Yeah, it's that arc kind of goes hidden though, doesn't it? You don't really get any big revelations about it. You don't really get,
Yeah.
which you don't.
I guess
need. I'm not saying
Endgame
it's
was
a
her
negative.
film, right? That was kind of her big
Which bit?
moving through the motions. Endgame was kind of like her big character movie.
Yes, yeah, you're right. Yeah. Cool. That is a good point. But still,
How
I
about
just
you?
think- I don't know. Like another observation. I don't know whether it's a criticism. Music is a big part of the Guardians films. Like it's what
Yes.
blew up
Needle
the
drops.
first one. Yeah. And here they're just so unapologetic in the sense of like, we like good music. We're going to play you some good songs. So there's going to be a lot of just, you can't hear anything other than the music that we want to play you. And you know what? We're not even going to hide it. Just everyone's going to play a song. Someone's going to play it on an
Everyone
iPad,
gets a song.
iPod. Someone's going to play it on a cassette. It's fine. We're just going to start playing music, and you're going to see the characters decide that they're going to play a song at this moment because that's
This song.
this song at this moment because there's a battle going on. But what we need is them to put on the song. Because,
Quill to put his little earphone in because he needs to hype himself up.
yeah, because they've all been influenced by Quill, so now they all love music. Like
They all have Earthian music. Not
Earth-
even like
Earthian
what a
music.
wild
but
curveball there
so
would have been.
Yeah, no, but like again, I don't know whether it's a criticism or I absolutely love it because it's
I just felt so good.
yeah, but it's that it's like what the what's he called? High
High evolutionary.
Evolutionary says about Earth having some of the best music and the best art and the best creativity, and it makes you feel really
Culture.
passionate about being a human. Like you're like, yeah, Earth
Yeah.
rocks. Yeah, I don't see any other planet doing this. And sort of thinking in terms of the Marvel universe and Star Wars and all of these things, it's like, no, hold on a minute. That's not reality that we know. That's not like, but. So we're almost like comparing ourselves as a species to all of these fantasy worlds. It's like, yeah, these fantasy worlds have nothing on us that we've created. Like, what? Okay.
Now let's play some of our best hits. Hit it, Star-Lord. No! Sleep till Brooklyn! Weird that that's the second time that's been a needle drop in as many films that I've seen in 2 weeks.
Oh, nice. Cool. What was the other one?
Mario movie.
Oh, yeah. Sweet. Yeah, you said that they did that when they were in Brooklyn. Great.
And it does not work as well.
No. And I liked Uga Chaka coming on at the end. That was a nice throwback. And what did you think to the post-credit sequence? Sis.
The final one.
Yeah.
The last, just having a chat with your dad. Yeah,
Granddad.
Just sitting down having a chat. This is granddad. Yeah. Oh yeah, of course. Just sitting down having a chat with his granddad, saying that he'll help out, and just him eating the cereal. It was just a nice little touchstone. And for him to just say, "Oh,
Yeah.
the legendary Star-Lord will return," I'm like, "Yeah, okay, fine." What was the mid-credit scene? Was there one?
Yeah.
It was
very
them.
Close. It was them playing music.
Yeah,
It was them discussing their favourite 90s songs.
Yeah. Whilst this army of things is about to run towards and kill this village.
Yeah.
I liked that it was like, here's your new Guardians
Yeah,
of the
I
Galaxy.
like that.
Here's your new
I like
team.
that one.
I think because, and I said right at the start, like I've been feeling a lot of Marvel fatigue recently. Like I didn't think that Black Panther was great. There was a few standout moments, but it was just
Interesting.
a very sad movie.
Yeah.
With a really kind of by the numbers Marvel ending, followed by I didn't like Thor: Love and Thunder. I didn't like, what was the last one that came out? There's another one. Doctor Strange was a bit hit and miss for me because they didn't let Sam Raimi just do his horror stuff. And then with all the millions of TV shows that are going on, and like it's just oppressive amounts, and we've not had that same sense of building towards something that we had in Phase 1 and even to an extent Phase 2.
Yeah.
Like what's
And,
going on with the Avengers?
Quantumania?
We've not heard anything. Yeah, that's the one. I didn't like it. I thought it was pretty
Okay.
bad.
I haven't seen it yet. It's coming out on Disney Plus soon, so I'm going to watch it when it comes out on that for free.
Something that Guardians absolutely killed, not relying on CG environments too much. Like Ant-Man felt like he was just acting on a green screen, whereas here there were sets and everything felt tactile and real, apart from like a couple of space scenes.
Yeah.
And now James
Okay.
Gunn's leaving Marvel. God damn it.
Well, okay. I think I'm going to give it a 80s ballad out of 10.
Ooh, good stuff. I give it a needle drop timed to
Yeah.
perfection out of 10.
Just great fun.
Fabulous.
Okay, let's move on.
Let's move on. It did feel very Star Wars, didn't it? It felt like good Star Wars.
What Star Wars
Anyway.
should be.
This is what Star Wars should be. Good.